here's where the MCU starts to pick up speed. Avengers 2, directed by Joss Whedon. Production budget of $250 million, worldwide taking of $1.4 billion for a profit margin of $1.1 billion. Starring the Avengers and friends. But of particular note are Elizabeth Olsen, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Paul Bettany, James Spader, and Andy Serkis. Okay, so straight up, first things first, this movie looks really good. Very well polished visuals, very clean, very crisp, excellent use of lighting, excellent use of shadows. The use of sound of this movie was also excellent. Great use of the subtle stuff, just the little noises that gave you the hints as to what is going on. Then all the big loud stuff, the explosions and the detonations and the majestic sort of sounds, the deep rumbling sounds. Those were really good. They all played in very, very nicely. I am stumbling over my tongue so much tonight. This is going to take forever to record. Real quick on the characters, they're all outstanding as usual. The characters feel like they've evolved, they've developed, they've improved, they've lived. The sense of continuity in history was present but not overwhelming. I was very pleased. Getting Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, I was so happy with that. Particularly Scarlet Witch, she was very well portrayed. The young, raw, untested, untrained version. I was very worried that she was going to be this sort of... You know a lot of Joss Whedon movies where you get the waif child? Well, this wasn't her, thankfully. Quicksilver was great. It's my favourite version of Quicksilver, and of course they kill him. Not happy about that. Rumor has it that he wanted to kill off Hawkeye and Marvel said no, so he killed off Quicksilver instead. Loved watching the Vision come to life. Loved to see Paul Bettany actually in person now, not just the voice of Jarvis. That was very cool. They handled Vision very, very well. That was absolutely the personification of him from the comics. And Paul Bettany delivers an incredibly gentle, naive sort of performance for the Vision, which is what's important. He is literally, as he says in the movie, he was only born yesterday, and I like that feeling about him. Very, very, very powerful, but also incredibly fresh to the world, and having to deal with it all on the fly. James Spader is a brilliant voice of Ultron, brilliantly menacing yet cultured, and Andy Serkis was also great fun. I really liked watching him on screen. He's always a bit of a blast. I'll get to a couple of things that bugged me in a minute, but right now the script I felt was very clever, very witty. It covered a lot of ground and a lot of things, laid a lot of groundwork for the future. And they did that very, very well because there's some very interesting actors and characters doing their thing at each other whilst explaining the world. I liked it. It worked well for me. The Avengers downtime was also very, very interesting to me. Watching them at the party, watching them chat, watching them just get along. And then at the Barton farm, where it's pretty much home. It's just home time and people doing home things. It's something special to see these supercharged superhero characters hanging around a farm, doing chores. I don't know why that appeals to me so much, but it's just very interesting to watch. I enjoyed all of that stuff on the Barton farm. I'm conscious of the fact that I'm running out of time very quickly here, but there was so much of this movie that I really loved. The way it connected multiple threads, tied up a whole bunch of other stories, gave us lots of backstory on many of the characters. That little glimpse in the Black Widow's life was great. I was so happy to see that on screen. It's an amazing piece of MCU movie making, and I really, really enjoyed 98% of this film. There's only 2% that I didn't really like, and one is the Black Widow romance with the Hulk. And it wasn't because of lack of ability in the two actors, that's for certain. I just think it's the character types that they've got, which the way it came across just felt very shoehorned in there. Compounded by the fact that if you watch the deleted scene, the full conversation between Bruce and Natasha when they're at the Barton homestead, you'll see all the bits you're missing from that conversation. That conversation makes a lot more sense and is a hell of a lot better if you watch the full thing. They really should have left that in there. The other bit is Thor's random trip off to a cave with Selvig to dip in the water, have an electric vision and bugger off again. If again you watch the full scene either on the Blu-ray or the extras, it would have made more sense and made Thor's return to save the Vision quite dramatic and needed and heroic as opposed to circumstantial as it really felt in the theatrical version. Okay, so I'm out of time again. These are really, really hard to do. But long story short, this movie is great. I really enjoyed it. It sits about there on the chart as far as I'm concerned. It's integral to the ongoing story. It introduces amazing characters. It's got fantastic visuals. It's a thoroughly entertaining time with a couple of speed bumps in the middle there. All in all, I really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you're having a great week and you find some time to go and watch a movie.